Welcome again to the 45th Annual Street Rod Nationals. We're here in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm Mark Thompson.
And I'm Melissa Haas, and over the next couple of hours, you're going to get to see all the beautiful street rods you see going behind us. Each year, I'm telling you, they just keep getting better. But you'll also get to see all of the fun.
Plus, we'll have some special guests coming up a little later. We've got Tim Strange. We've got Tim's wife on.
That's right.
With her new Corvair.
That's right, and also a lot of the new late models, too. So you don't want to miss any of the fun that's coming up.
Welcome again. Stay with us a couple of hours. You're going to love the show. Welcome to Louisville. We interview them. Do it. Hey, how are you?
Good morning. Welcome to the Street Rod Nationals. Have fun.
Every year, a wonderful group of NSRA members volunteer to make it happen, and we want to say thanks to each and every one of you. Now, let's see a few in action. So we're out on the grounds with thousands of beautiful street rods to look at. So we wanted to ask the people what brings them back year after year and what they like most about the Street Rod Nationals. We're out here, it's pretty early, we're watching the street rods arrive. What brings you out here this early in the morning?
Well, I'm a car nut and have been since I was a child, and we've been here since shortly after 7. This is my 4th year of coming, and I'll be back next year. I love it here.
You love it here. Why do you love it so much?
Well, it's the camaraderie, the people. There's great places to eat here in town. The local people that we've interfaced with have all been super. We had a car this morning we had to jump start. We had several people helping us do it, so it's just a great place to be.
That's awesome. So you're not from here. Where are you from?
Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh, wow. So how long of a trip is that?
About 6.5 hours.
Oh, wow. So you make that trip every year?
Every year.
And it's totally worth it, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, great.
Love it.
Okay, so it's early in the morning at the 45th Annual Street Rod Nationals. I'm here with Jane. Jane, where are you from?
St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis, Missouri. So you came all the way to Louisville, Kentucky just for the street rod?
Yes.
So what do you like so much about the Street Rod Nationals?
As a woman, I don't have to do much but sit. But anyway, love the cars. It's a great time. It's an awesome show. A lot of good people.
It's hard to see everything when you're
Yes.
here, right?
Yes, exactly.
How many years have you been coming to the Street Rod Nationals?
3 years.
3 years.
3 years.
You see yourself coming back?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Every year.
Okay, so what's your name?
Hey, Cheryl.
Dave?
Uh-huh.
And so why did you come to the Street Rod Nationals?
That's what we do every year. Been coming since the 80s, middle 80s.
Oh, really? You've been coming since the 80s, that long?
Right. Been to Oklahoma City and St. Paul, Columbus. Went out to Syracuse, New York, and doors down here the last several years.
You like to see all the vehicles coming in and out?
I can walk this whole field. I'll be 75 years old, and I can walk this whole lot.
Well, you can outwalk me then. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I don't know if I can do it this year or not. Feet starting to hurt a little bit.
What's the way to do it? It's get a good exercise, right? And look at all the beautiful vehicles. What about you? You got a car
I
here?
drove my 48 Chevy down here.
Oh.
I've got a T-Bug that I drove down here. Of course, it always rains on it and had no room in it, so I just take it at local shows. See, I've got 68 Camaro convertible. I bought in 1969.
Of course,
Yeah.
yes. So what keeps you coming back to the Street Rod Nationals?
Oh, the entertainment, wife likes it, and of course the cars.
All right, well, thank you so much, Dave. We appreciate you talking to us. We're over here with the Okolona boys. I've got Skeeter here. He's gonna tell us a little bit about one of his newest additions, his new car. Skeeter, tell us a little bit about this make, model.
It's a 1941 sedan delivery. I bought it out of Long Beach, California. It had been in the family since 1941. I was privileged to buy it from them. My other truck that we interviewed last year was a 48 F1. It was in a fire the 1st of February. I lost 3 cars and a motorcycle, burnt the whole place down. It's a privilege to have you all here to do what you all do with the DVD and all that, because I was on it last year quite a bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Made you a star, huh?
Yeah, that's what I've been told. I just like everybody to come to Louisville, enjoy the Nationals, because this is what it's all about. You work on these things day in, day out, week in, week out. In August, you get to show up in Louisville.
So why this car?
They're very unusual deliveries. They're very, very unusual. You don't see very many 41 sedan deliveries, and that's what attracted me to it. I like to be different. I don't like to be like everybody else. And when I found this in California, I said, this is it right here.
Yeah.
No question. I didn't ask. I said, ship it to Louisville.
Tell us a little bit about the engine in this vehicle.
It's a 350 Chevy with an automatic transmission and air and cruise until a lot of people, they're so inclined not to do anything with their car. I said, come on, people, enjoy your car. I mean, my gosh,
Right.
if you're not enjoying your car, then you're doing something wrong.
Well, I hope you get to enjoy this car for many years.
me
We
too.
know it's unfortunate about the fire,
Yeah.
but this is a lovely vehicle. Okay, so we're over here with this new car. Tell us a little bit about it, the year, the make, all that model.
Okay, it's a 1934 Ford two-door sedan. It's actually it's a 1999 Z28 LS1 with a 4L60E behind it, which is an automatic. It's got a Ford 9-inch rear end with a 350 gear in it. It's got a Pete and Jake chassis, chrome straight axle, chrome shocks, chrome hairpins. It's got a Unisteer steering box on it instead of the Vegas. It's got a 9-inch. It's got coilovers on the back, chrome, and the ladder bars are also chrome on the back. It was in the body shop. A friend of mine painted it. It's Velocity red with Ford pewter gray or silver on it.
Right.
They get it on, and then after he did his work, it went back to the body shop. Greg Allen painted it and dumped about 4 heavy coats of clear on it and spent about 3 days color sanding and buffing. I like the way the 30s cars look. It kind of gives you the gangster look, like the White's car. It's got that that look, and it's kind of different. I like the running boards. It makes the car small inside, but it just gives you that gangster look.
Give you that gangster feel.
Yeah.
Let's go. How about we take a gangster ride in this?
I don't know about
gangster drive.
but how about just a ride? I bought the car right at two years, 4 months ago. The guy that I bought it from started. The car is actually was built. The guy started building it in 2002, and one thing led to another, and he didn't get to it. And I saw it through a friend of his. I saw it advertised, and I went down and looked at it, and I sold my coupe, and I made him an offer, and he said I can live with it. And 5 days later, after I sold my coupe, I went down to Atlanta and picked it up.
So we noticed that, you've still got some work to do up here. What do you plan to do with the rest of the vehicle?
If you notice, the seats are red. These are T seats. It's going to be red, and if you look at the console, it's got gray inserts, just like the seats do.
Right.
And we're going to use the gray to break all the red up. I was going for a real elegant look of the car. I've had a lot of help from my car club guys. You know, everybody in Oklahoma, Street Rods have they've come over to the house, and we have a good time. We work on the car, we eat.
Yeah. Your fixer-upper is one of the most beautiful. I can say that. I love
really
it.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
My name's Jim Tyler, and this is 70 Chevelle, a little bit hotter than stock. It's a 396 that in 1970 they were 402s. This one's been bored 30. It's about 408 cubic inches.
What is it that drew you to this car?
Body style, mainly. 70 is a very popular Chevelle. And so the body style, the way they're built. I like Camaros too, and Mustangs, but they're smaller. It's not as comfortable in them. Seats set lower, but that's just opinion,
We're out in the UPS Commercial Way with David and Jessica, and an outstanding use of color with the orange and black. But you were telling me a little bit about the story of this truck. Tell me a little bit about your truck.
Right. The truck used to be my father's truck back in the early 80s, and when I was getting older, getting about 3 years old, he had to trade the truck for a car, a four-door sedan, because 3-year-old can't fit in between two bucket seats real easily. And then we kind of kept up with the truck. In 05, I went back and bought it back and kind of brought the Fairlane heirloom back home.
Now, did they think about a bungee cord for you on top?
Well, not really. I mean, I think they more wanted to keep me in the truck for a while.
Now, what year is it? Tell me about the make, the model.
It's a 41 Ford truck. Right now, it's sitting on a 2003 Ford Ranger frame. Got a 400 big block Ford and numerous customizations to it, like 62 Chrysler headlights, 49 Plymouth bumpers, 48 Ford park lights, 59 Caddy tail lights. Truck's been chopped 3 inches, and the Ranger frame's been actually lowered 4 in the front, 5 in the back with their aftermarket lowering kits.
Yeah. Now, does it ride pretty good?
Oh, absolutely. It rides just like a modern day Ranger.
Now, you guys drive this.
Oh yes, it drives anywhere it goes. If it's on a trailer, it's broke.
Or stolen.
Or stolen.
Somebody snagged it quick. Tell me a little bit about then what's been your favorite custom piece that you did to it?
Well, biggest custom piece really is the paint scheme, because I'm a graphic designer, so I designed the paint scheme. It's a one-off paint scheme, and I made it to fit the truck, so it was something that nobody else had, and if I come to like the Nationals here, that I ain't gonna see another one like it. And like I said, that way, in the painter, all thing he had to do was to shoot the colors. I went and cut the vinyl, laid all the stripes for him, and he just laid the colors, and I peeled the vinyl out and let him clear coat it.
And you got a matching hat.
I got a matching hat, found on eBay.
Well, that's what I noticed actually was the color scheme and the hat. I thought, well, that's perfect.
Right.
Actually, what we noticed was Jessica, but we're not. We're going to say it was the color. Come on,
yeah, we'll say that.
Talk to me a little bit about the show here. What do you like about it?
Oh, it's great. Good weather, a lot of good cars. Love a lot of people seeing people's ideas and how they're tweaking stuff and making their stuff their own. And it's a great show. We'll definitely be back next year and in the years to come.
All right. Now, from your perspective as a female, what do you like about the show?
Oh, I absolutely love all of it. I enjoy going to the swap meet with him. Women's World, of course, is big on my list, but I just like walking around and looking at all the beautiful cars and talking to all the people. Everybody here is just really nice.
We're at the Commercial Way with Jim Speckman. Jim, tell me about your truck here.
Yeah, thank you. It's a 1956 Ford F100 originally. It's highly modified, as you can tell by looking at it. And I bought it in its basic form at the F100 Super Nationals in '06.
So tell me a little bit about the engine, some of the modifications you've done to it.
I got had a 350 in it Chevy when I first got it, and had some problems. It had the wrong heads on it, and now it's a 383. And it was built from scratch up. And it's got a 383 a 350 turbo automatic. It's got an Impala coil spring rear end, and it's got a Ride Tech front end, coilover shock, and rides much better since I did that.
Yeah.
I did as much work on it as I could, except for the body and the paint work, and kind of some clever different things. Like, for instance, you'll notice a 383 sign on the hood, because it's a 383 Chevy. However, that badge is from a 383 Chrysler.
Just a nice little touch.
And guys will ask me, "You got a Chrysler in there?" I said, "It's a 383."
Now, tell me about coming to the Nationals for you. What do you say to your buddies about the Nationals?
Well, I had a little situation happen last year. I belong to the Tri-State F100 Club in Cincinnati, and we've got about a dozen of us. And it seems like last year the only ones of us that made it here had Chevy engines. Because one of the club president, he's Ford all the way, and he had a differential go out. His brother-in-law had a master cylinder go out, and another guy had some type of steering problem. So Chevy made it.
So what does that tell you?
That tells you better have a Chevy engine. They also cost half the price of a Ford to build.
There you go. And what would you tell your what do you tell your friends about the show?
Well, it's the most excellent show. It's the big granddaddy of all of them. And as far as I'm concerned, anything you could possibly want to find for your vehicle, you're going to find here at the Louisville show. And I haven't made it to any ones, the other ones like Knoxville or Tampa. I'd like to sometime. But this is the beautiful show. And I've bought several items for my truck here. I wait to come here to buy it because I can simply go through that Coliseum and I can see every vendor that makes the product that I want, and I can choose for which one I think is the best for my vehicle. And that's why I come here.
Just take it home with you.
That's right.
Or send it UPS.
That's right.
We're with Wayne out in the Commercial Way. Wayne, it's a beautiful 51 Plymouth that you have here. Tell me about it.
Thank you. It's a 51 Plymouth, two-door Suburban. I bought it up in North Dakota about 4 or 5 years ago. It had no rust in it, and now it's got a 46 Ford frame under it. It has a 350 Chevy engine with 700 R4. It has a 55 Dodge Dash in it, and it has about 3.5 years of work. But I did most of the work myself. I didn't paint the car. A friend of mine painted it for me and stuff, but I did most of the work. I had one other fella that did some of the work when I first started, because I channeled it 4 inches, and he helped me do the channeling work with, his name was Larry Kramer.
What led you to the green and silver?
Well, it was originally a green and like a beige colored car, and there's quite a bit of difference.
I bet there is. How close are you to Louisville?
About 100 miles. I live in northern Kentucky, by Cincinnati, Ohio.
Short drive.
Just a short drive.
Yeah.
For this show.
For this show.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say about this show?
I like the show. I've been coming to it for years. I've come to it for, I don't know how many years. I came to it before I was here all the time, and it's been here how many years now? 20? I guess. I don't know.
Tim Strange in the Pros Pick area. Once again, he's a judge. He's been walking around looking at these beautiful, beautiful cars. Tim, what have you been seeing here that you like lately?
Man, there is, like always, it never disappoints out here at Louisville for the Pros Picks. You know, this is the biggest NSRA event on the calendar, and the big dogs really come out for this event. It's very prestigious to win a Pros Pick here in Louisville. It always has since I've been a little kid, and it's, you know, we got 12 to 15 judges out here going through this stuff, looking. It's not really a judged event. We don't really have a point sheet. It's kind of like what we like, what we don't like, the stance, the fit, the finish, all this. You know, they've got industry people, professional builders, and there's just a little bit of everything out here, and it's just amazing.
Absolutely. We're standing next to a few beautiful cars, and I know you can't just pick one, but if we're going to talk about one, you know, give us a couple of your favorites. Let's talk about this one we got right here.
Yeah, these two cars right behind us was built by the same shop, the Adams Rod Shop out of Georgia. They build a lot of 32s, and they have it figured out. The stance, the colors, everything, the windshields, they just know what they're doing. They got another car right in beside my wife's car in the builder's showcase that's kind of like this without a top on it and a different color. And it's cool, you know, we've got two 32 Ford Roadsters right here. One's black, one's kind of an industrial green. The wheels are different. The stance is a little bit different, and the colors, and they're just a little bit of changes with colors and wheels and a couple finishes. It totally looks like a different car.
Absolutely. They're both beautiful vehicles. So if you had to pick something that's standing out on either one of these, what's unique? What makes each of them unique, in your opinion?
You know, I like this one because it's like a greenish, what I call like an industrial solid non-metallic color. Right. And it just works so well with the steely wheels and the cabs and the way they got the color of the interior and the top. It's just a perfect 32 Deuce Roadster.
It's beautiful, and I do like this color. What kind of a color would you say this is again?
I'd say it's like an industrial green looking color. It's just awesome.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Tim. We look forward to seeing what you pick out here in the Pros Pick.
Thank you.
Right. We're still over here in the Pros Pick area, and I'm with Tim. We were talking a little bit about the prestige of this, you know, winning an award over here in the Pros Pick here at the Street Rod Nationals. And as a judge, what it is that you guys are looking for, because I mean, they're all beautiful cars. They're different makes and models, but different builds, and so we want to understand a little more about what the process is when you guys are picking your favorites in the Pros Picks.
Well, like you said, this is the Street Rod Nationals. It's the World Series, it's the Super Bowl, whatever. And even since I was a little kid, even if I couldn't make it to this event, you know, as a 10-year-old, who won the Pros Picks? Who won this, you know? And it's very prestigious. You know, there's over 10,000 cars that attend this event every year, and they give very few awards here. You know, they give some safety picks, some color picks, and all that stuff. They only give 12 cars. To be eligible here, you have to drive to this side of the grounds. It's kind of hidden. You have to read your instructions in your map. You come over here, and they have a wide variety. I think there's almost 15 judges here. We pick a top 15 of our favorite down, or, you know, 1, 2, 3, that's the order of our favorite all the way down. So then they add up all their votes, basically, and come up with 12 that they give. So to win a top 12 here at the Pros Picks is just like getting a Super Bowl ring. It really is that prestigious. It always has been. It always will be here.
And what about the mentality of the judges? Because, I mean, all of you guys like different kinds of makes and models. What's going into the thought process as you're checking these cars out and you're going to pick the best of the best?
Well, yeah, we look at them. I mean, it's not a judging sheet, so we don't like nitpick and, oh, there's a chip here, because, you know, some of us like to see stuff that's driven. We'll overlook some of that stuff for a car that just has the right stance and the right look. Like that blue Willys rolling by right there. It is beautiful. It's like a traditional Willys. You know, most of those are built into Pro Street cars, gassers that sit up in the air. You know, that's got some drag race heritage if you look at the pictures in the info board with it, and it's got an Oldsmobile motor in it, I believe, and it's just a cool looking hot rod. The fit, the finish, the gaps and stuff like that. You know, most of these guys build cars for a living, and, you know, the customers build very expensive cars, and a lot of us will build a little bit of everything. Like in my shop, we build from restos to Pro Tour to street rods to customs, and we don't do any late model collision. And I mean, just looking here and kind of panning around, there's a big variety out here. There's a cut-up Model A 5-window behind us with huge horsepower. It's got a Hemi, a blower, multiple carburetors. Then on the other side is a beautiful 57 Chevy Nomad. I believe it's fuel injected. modern sheet metal stuff underneath the hood, leather, air conditioning, everything. It drives like a new Cadillac going down the road, I'm sure. Then there's a 32 Ford sedan over here with white walls. There's a couple Corvettes with aftermarket chassis. And then for years, it used to be just a pre-48 event, 1948 and older, so 32 Fords and all that stuff. And then they opened it up a few years ago to the newer cars. And when they first opened the floodgates, a lot of the die-hard street rod guys were a little bummed out.
Yeah,
but,
right.
the numbers still stayed strong. But, to me, it looks at, the grandpa's got the 32 Ford. His son's got a 55 Chevy. The next generation has a Camaro, a Chevelle, or something like that. And that's what's cool. That's what I grew up going to the hot rod shows with my dad and my uncle. And those are some of the best times I remember in my life. So that's cool that NSRA finally opened this up to bring in the stuff. And the first couple years, out here in the Pros Pick, it was really flooded with what they call the modern Pro Tour, the Camaros with the fuel injection LSs, the
Right,
superchargers, all this modern Pro Tour hot rod. Well, there for a while, the pre-48 stuff kind of took a little bit of a dip in their popularity because the expensive of the steel bodies, they make reproduction ones and glass ones, but they're hard to source anymore. So that's why the Tri-5 Chevys, the Camaros, the Mustangs, and all that come a little bit popular. Well, now the prices are getting high on those now. And then some people are getting, somebody my generation might have grew up and my first car was a 55 Chevy. Well, now I've made a little bit more money in my life. I might be able to finally afford that 34 Chevy or that 32 Ford or something like that. And then, I'm lucky to be in this industry for over 20 years full time. And I have a lot of friends that build cars like me. And the way I kind of judge what the next trend is what my buddies that own the shops they're building. Some of the guys built some Pro Tour cars the last couple of years. Well, now a lot of the guys like my age in the 30s and 40s, they're building a personal street rod, a pre-48 again. So I see the pre-48 stuff coming back even stronger, whether it's like this 32 over here with a modern windshield and a lot of billet and shine and more modern looking 32, or you might have over here, there's one with a Buick nail head and it's got Steelies and bias ply tires. And, always to me that traditional with the bias ply and the old horsepower and the cool, like a Cadillac or a Buick nail head is always going to be popular. It's kind of like the timeless look. But I see that coming back a little bit stronger. Guys my age have always liked that, and maybe we couldn't afford it. Well, then our skills are better as we've been on and we've, made a little money building whatever if you're working at a job or building a hot rod shop, and now you're getting your street rod finally.
That's right. So we saw that trend with some of the newer cars coming in, but now you're seeing the older cars making a comeback, huh?
Yeah, I think it was about 3 years ago, me and you worked out here the first time, and there was like a bunch of bright orange 69 Camaros, and it was really weird because it was always pre-48 stuff, and then all of a sudden, here comes the floodgates. Well, it's kind of mellowed out a little bit. We've got a good mix, but I really think this year there's more pre-48 stuff than there is not.
That's right. We just took a ride earlier in a 39 Ford over there, and it's still a fixer-upper, but he wanted that. That was the next thing he wanted to buy and fix because that's where his heart was going. He had the Mustang in a later year, but he wanted to go back to the older model. So,
and that's kind of what I tell. Like if a customer comes into my shop, they're like, "I want to build this car to win this award."
Right.
I go, "You don't want that mentality because you're building a car what you think that judge, whether it's an indoor show or outdoor show, and if you don't win that certain trophy, it's still a trophy.
Right.
You're still going to have that car in your garage, and part of your family, you're going to be driving it, and you want to have fun with it. And I always tell that customer, if I just built my wife a purple car. She wanted a purple car. If this guy comes in and he wants a bright pink car, which I have somebody bringing a car to be painted bright pink this winter, you do what they want because that's what it's their dream car.
Right.
It's no different than your dream girl, whether she's a brunette, a blonde, a redhead. It's the same thing. Everybody has their own style, their favorites, and that's what they do. And you build the car that you want. If you win an award, who cares? But have fun along the journey building that car and when it gets done.
Absolutely. I know I have a lot of dream cars out here that I'd like to leave in.
There is a lot of stuff out here. It's hard to narrow it down. We narrowed down to 15, and it was rough getting down there. There is some quality stuff, as usual. It never disappoints here in Louisville.
Well, as usual, it's been great having you help us, walk us around, take a look at the pros picks. We really appreciate it, Tim.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Here we are out at the Pros Pick at Louisville for the NSRA event, and here we are with Charlie Chad. Tell us a little bit about what we got right here behind us.
29 Model A truck, 350 Chevy, Kugel front, Corvette rear, and this is black.
It's got a little bit more than that. It's not just a sum of parts. The stance is right, the fit, the finish on it. And is it actually yours or your wife Sandy's?
Well, it's actually mine. You know,
He says this because she's not here right now.
she's out shopping.
Charlie has a very strong contender out here in the pros pick. How long have you had this thing?
5 years.
That's pretty good because I kind of know you from years and years in the history of you have cars for a long time. So 5-year build, that's pretty quick for you.
Yeah, especially when you're working on all kinds of other stuff too. You know, and I couldn't get you to help me, so, you know.
A lot of these cars they're just checkbook cars that are out here. They take them to a shop and they pay somebody to do it. Tell us about everything that you did. I know you did a lot of stuff yourself. It's pretty much a 99.9% home-built vehicle, right?
Yeah, we didn't do the upholstery. Dave Schobers did the upholstery, and a friend of mine did the painting, but as far as all the other stuff, we did most all of it ourselves.
So it turned out very good, and good luck in the pros pick today. Here we are out here still in the pros picks at Louisville for the National Street Rod Association, the huge nationals. And again, we're at the pros pick where the top cars come out to try to get one of those top 12 awards. Right behind me is one of my favorites. I love fat-fendered Fords, and it doesn't get any more hot rod than this 3-window 35 Ford right behind us. Tell us your name and a little bit about the car.
My name is Mike Johnston. I purchased the car south of St. Louis, Missouri 3.5 years ago, and I had the car professionally built at the East Coast Hot Rod Garage in Denton, Maryland by Ray and Terry Bartlett.
We're going to show you a little bit about all the slicing that's been done on this awesome 35 Ford Coupe.
Well, the original 35 and 36s had a rumble seat in them, and I think we all kind of know what a rumble seat was. So I had this idea of having a full deck lid, and I talked to Ray and Dean about it, and they thought we could do it, and we accomplished it by doing the cuts here and cutting down the body line, and it really the trunk line almost disappears and blends in with the black paint, which I think is so cool that it's a full-size trunk in there, and yet it goes so nicely with the car. If you don't know cars, you would not know that this car had been modified that much. But it's a tremendous amount of work. You have to build a wooden buck. All the forming and shaping of the metal is so labor-intensive, and it takes a tremendous amount of talent to be able to accomplish that.
And it turned out awesome. And other things I like about kind of the race car inspired stuff on this is the gas filler up here and the cool little Nerf bars, and the beautiful arc, how the Nerf bar matches the rear apron in the back. Just gorgeous hot rod. I know it's stretched, it's dropped, everything. So give us a little bit of information about the cutting and the slicing besides the trunk lid that we've already talked about.
Well, as you just said, Tim, the car was stretched 3 inches. We did that to accommodate leaning the grill shell back. The grill shell is leaned back 3 inches in a 35 that's in the original configuration. The grills are very vertical, and I like the hot roddy look, so we lean the grill shell back. The front has been pinched 2 inches in the front on each side, so it's actually a 4-inch pinch on the inside. Has a custom rack from Unisteer underneath it. You know, obviously the two-piece period ET3 wheels on the rear. In the interior, that is a period sun tack that I found in a flea market and sent it out and had it recalibrated, refaced and recalibrated. It's a tack from the early 60s. The steering wheel wasn't a gift, but it was a purchase from my very dear friend, Dick Applegate from New Jersey. Dick sold me that steering wheel, and that wheel is from the 60s. The dash is a custom 39 standard dash that the East Coast Hot Rod Garage turned all the knobs The whole theme of the car was a 60s theme hot rod build, so that it would look like it could step out of the 60s into today's date and you would not know the difference. I'm thrilled to death with my new car.
So can I get your full name?
Steve Tracy.
Steve Tracy. Okay, Steve. Well, the one thing I noticed about this car was the color. I love it. It's not quite squash. What is it called? What is the actual term for this car color?
Crocus yellow.
Crocus yellow. Okay, and tell us a little about the make and the model of this vehicle.
Okay, it's a 1955 Chevy B210 wagon, not to be confused with a Nomad. The car was underwater in the 2010 flood in Nashville.
Oh, wow.
Yep, and a bunch of hot rod buddies came and rescued several cars out, and this happened to be one of the victims of the flood. So Larry Griffey in Knoxville, Tennessee did a complete makeover on the car, disassembled it, went through the engine, drivetrain, updated the suspension, and Steve Holcomb did the upholstery in it.
So she was seriously rescued. She was rescued from the floods.
Yes, it sure was.
Well, it's a beautiful, beautiful vehicle. Okay, so I know you're here with the car, but is this actually your vehicle?
It is actually not my vehicle. It belongs to my girls, my wife Sherry and my teenage daughters Megan and Clara.
And they couldn't be here?
No, they are back to school today, and so they're out warming up the parking lot at school, spinning donuts in the Camaro, and wearing out some tires in Nashville.
So this is their car. They love it. They have a name for it?
Grocery getter.
The grocery getter. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it is. So they load up and go to football games and volleyball and soccer games and load all the girls in there. And I'm not quite sure what they get into, and I probably don't need to know.
Well, Tim, what do you like about this car? What do you find interesting about it?
Well, I've been around this car a lot, before the flood and after, and it's just a beautiful. I grew up around Tri-5 Chevy, so I've got a soft spot. My dad's probably had almost 20 through the years, so I love Tri-5 Chevys. They're one of my favorites. But a cool thing is about Steve and the quality of chrome on this. He probably has a more hand on a lot of the contenders out here in the pros pick because he runs advanced plating out of Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes, and it's a pretty unique position to be in because it's like I own part of every one of these cars.
Yeah. How many cars do you think you probably had a touch of something on it?
Probably
50% of them at least, right?
50% of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a really been a really fun job and very challenging, and still enjoy it. So
gotta have that chrome.
That's right.
Steve says chrome does get you home.
Yeah. All right, so we're still over here at the Pros Pick. I'm here with Brian Williams. Brian, tell us a little bit about this beautiful car. What's the make and model?
It's a 1967 Camaro. Got a LS7 motor in it. It's a Detroit Speed subframe with a Detroit Speed 4-link in the back and one-off Evo wheels. And
it really stands out to me. It looks like it's a very fast car.
it's very fast.
So you enjoy driving it?
Yes, it'll throw you in the seat.
Oh, really? Yeah. Is that what those seat belts, those nice, the roller coaster ride seat belts look like? Describe those for me.
That'll keep you in it. There's a 4-link seat belt in it, and it likes to autocross. It likes to go around curves. It's real fast.
It likes to do all those fast things, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the interior.
It's a Paul Atkins interior. It's a bright red with just little modifications. It's Trans Am seats. It'll keep you excited.
Okay, so since we're over here in the Pros Pick, where the best of the best are, what do you think makes your car so unique that stands out about among all the others?
It's a traditional 67 Camaro. I have a few modifications to it. I got the Z06 brake air dam ducts to it with the one-off wheels, and it looks fast. It sits there and you just want to get in and go fast.
That's right. So that's what your most favorite thing about this car is, huh?
That's what I love to do, is go fast.
All right. Thank you very much.
at the MHRA
Rod Repair Shop.
Rod Repair Shop with Rick Bannister. Rick, you guys do a great job out here every year. I see lots of folks need a little help this morning or this afternoon.
We do quite a few cars here. This is the biggest event that we go to on the most amount of cars that need to be fixed. We're here to help a guy get fixed so he can get back home. And so we have some major breakdowns. You can see behind us here, he's working on a car. Car next to us, we're doing rear ends, motor work, brake work, anything that would get you safely home. That's what we're here designed for. We've been doing it for 43 years, 44 years.
It's a long time fixing cars. And I can tell you, we go out on the grounds and people truly appreciate what y'all are doing.
Well, we try to get someone back home, and we're here to, like I say again, to get them back. But a lot of people don't know about how to fix their car. Somebody else did the work on the car, so they're not that familiar with working on it. So we have guys with expertise that can do that. So in the end, they're going home, they feel safe, and they're telling all their friends how these people helped us. And we just take donations, we do not charge.
And the state of Michigan looks awesome. From
well, yeah,
representing the state.
We're here and we do this so people remember that Michigan Hot Rod also does Autorama in Detroit.
Yeah.
So we come, we're here, we have guys looking at cars here to see if they're qualified to be a nice car to come to Detroit for Autorama. But again, in the summertime, this is what we do.
How many folks, how many volunteers are working with your group?
We probably have 15 or so that work on and off at some shows. Some don't go to all the shows. I tend to go to all the shows. And we have to bring it in, so we have a lot of fuel costs and stuff like that. That's where the donation comes in. And we're just here to, like I say again, to help them. Hopefully they all get home, get home happy.
Roughly how many cars will come
through here? This is a large event, so there's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. There's 3 days that they run. We'll probably do 40 to 50 cars a day.
Yeah.
And some of them are as small as the tail light bulb is out, and we would help them to do that, as to rear end problems, some motor problems. So again, like I say, we're trying to make sure everybody gets out. We'll make sure that they go home. We're not going to leave anybody, even though we go home at 5 o'clock to have dinner like everybody else. If there's some kind of a problem, we will stay late to make sure they get out.
Well, appreciate all y'all do.
Good.
Thank you, Rick.
I'm
Appreciate
glad
it.
that you're here.
PBG, how many years have you guys been coming to the Street Rod Nationals and setting up your booth?
10 or 11 years.
All right, so you've been coming to these for quite some time.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about coming every year after year to the Street Rod Nationals?
Every year something new, something different.
Right, I noticed that too each year, especially with the release of the newer cars, being able to come in to join in on everything. You're getting to see a lot of variety, right? How important is the paint, the perfect paint for a car, for a street rod?
That's simple, because that's the first thing you see.
Yes.
When you go in your garage, that's the first thing you see, and that's the thing that makes you smile.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can spend thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars on an engine. You can spend $10,000 on your interior, but when you sit in your garage in your favorite little chair, you're sipping on a glass of scotch, you're sitting there looking at your car, and the paint is what does it for you. That's the thing that makes you smile.
Did you see this Lamborghini? No, they say, did you see that red Lamborghini? Did you see what it's always led with the color of the car? So how important is it? It's paramount.
When we do our Best Use of Color award, you're out here looking at 20,000 plus cars. Mm-hmm. It's not to go out and find the slickest paint job, because that's humanly impossible. But what we look, you walk by and you see a car and the color draws you to the car, that's the best use of color. The color fits the car and it draws you to it like a magnet. And that's what we look for when we do our Best Use of Color award here.
You're all about the paint.
That's it.
Okay, so we're walking through the exhibit halls and I spot this. This blue just popped out to me. I love that color and I love these. And then I met Rex here So I wanted to come over and find out a little bit about what you guys are doing here in the exhibit hall.
What we do, we manufacture these wheels, and it's mostly nostalgia stuff. And we're here advertising our product.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your product, your business, and what you guys are all about.
Well, we've been manufacturing these wheels since 1992, and it's all for hot rods, customs, and cars like that. Been going to NSRA shows, this show I think for 7 years now.
Oh wow, lucky number 7.
Yeah.
And it's always been a good time, huh?
Always a good time.
Can I take these with me?
I can give you a picture of them.
Oh, okay. That'll work too. Thank you, Rex. Okay, so I'm here with Butch. Butch, how many years have you been coming here to the Street Rod Nationals?
Ever since it's been here.
Ever since it's been here?
Yes.
All 45?
Oh, no. Ever since it's been Louisville. No, I'm too young to go to the ones that I'm only 17.
I know, yeah, I can tell. What keeps you coming back every year?
Friends. I come out here and stay with friends in Louisville. And it's good. It's a lot of fun.
Do you have a car here?
I do. I have a 32 Ford 3-window coupe here.
All right.
I drove 640 miles to get here.
Wow. So it's a big deal to be here for you each year.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. I like the drive part of it as much as I like the event. I don't mind the driving. I like the driving a lot.
All right, so what are your names?
Greg Van Hoos.
Wanda Van Hoos.
All right, well, it's nice to meet you guys. So where are you guys from?
Paintsville, Kentucky.
All right, so how far away is that from Louisville?
About a 3-hour drive east.
Okay, so you come here just for the Street Rod Nationals?
That's it. We come down here often as we can, but that's not enough.
You like coming to the Street Rods because you love it or just because he wants you to go?
I do. I wasn't into cars until I met him, but I do like to see all the different cars. And some of the people too, because we've made some friends here too, so.
That's a resounding theme I hear. Everybody makes friends, like they have a lot of fun when they come to the Street Rod Nationals for the cars and the people, right?
Right, if you just take the time and talk to the fellow next to you or whatever, everybody's great. You know, everybody's here for the same reason. Everybody's having a good time. You talk your talk, you know, and then you get to see the cars that they drive through. It's really a good time. If you're a hot rod guy, if you're not here today, you're missing out.
Okay, so I'm here with Betty, who is always here. She's always at her same spot. She's always waving at us. So we wanted to come find out what kind of car she brought here to the Street Rod Nationals. And it looks like it matches her outfit.
That's right.
You like to keep it together?
Yeah. Like nails to match, clothes to match.
And that it does.
Yeah.
So tell us about this vehicle. What year, make, model?
This is a 34 Chevy pickup. My husband built it. It started out as a flatbed truck, and he's really worked hard on it.
Really worked hard on it?
Hard. 6 years.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Tell us about the engine and the display.
It's a 350 Chevy, small block, built. Yeah.
So how many years you've been coming to the Street Rod Nationals?
Oh, we started out coming with a little red wagon, pulling our lawn chairs and cooler, but we've had a vehicle for about 14 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what keeps you coming back here?
Oh, we just love it. It's close to home, and we're just here every year.
In the same spot, right?
Same spot. Try to be, yeah.
Well, you look fabulous. You're matching the car, and we just love it. So thank you for being here, Betty.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so what's your name?
It's Kenny Shane from Litchfield, Kentucky.
All right, so how far away is that?
About 70 miles south.
Okay, that's not too bad. How many years you've been coming to the Street Rod Nationals?
About 10 years.
All right, and I see you have 2 vehicles here.
Yes.
Do you always bring 2?
No.
Okay.
Just happened to have 2 this year.
Oh, did you? So what kind of cars did you bring?
73 Vega Pro Street car. 350 motor, 400 transmission, 4-link suspension, coilover car, street car. So.
And what about this one?
It's a 33 Austin Bantam, and it's just a badass car.
It is. I would have to agree with you. So why is the 2 different? They're such different cars. What makes you like,
I used to race the Vega years ago.
Okay.
At Ohio Valley Raceway. And I've always wanted a coupe, and so happened I just have got one we've been working on about a year and just got it together.
That's awesome. So you brought
Cut the bumpers on it to make it look like a Camaro. The 70 Camaros look like this in the front end. So you put the Z28 emblems on them, and it just freaks people out because they don't know if it's a Vega or a Camaro. It's got the small block Chevy in it. Got a 15.5-inch tire on the back. As far as I know, it's just stock. But it's bad on the road too. And I've always wanted a coupe, and so happened I just have got one we've been working on about a year and just got it together.
That's awesome. So you brought them both this year.
Yes. They used to build these as old race cars, and you don't see them no more. They're just a Bantam Roadster, and you don't see them.
Right.
And it's a steel car.
Are those Jack Daniel oil cans?
No. Water dispenser.
Okay. That's pretty awesome. I could drive this around town. Yeah, no problem.
Go anytime you want to.
So we know being here at the NSRA is all about families and the street rods. Well, street rod running in my family as well. So I'm here with my cousin Daryl, who has a new vehicle here this year. Daryl, what kind of vehicle is this?
Is a 55 Chevy big window pickup truck. They call it Pro Street, big block motor. It's a pretty wicked beast. It's tubbed. It's a running machine.
It looks like a wicked beast. What kind of engine did you say this has?
It's a Chevy big block 454 board 60 over. They actually call it a 468. Is terminology for it, but it's pretty wicked. Bought it out of Pennsylvania, and it had overheating issues. I put new radiator electric fans in there. I fixed the door latches. It wouldn't open and shut. Just quite a few little nicks and stuff like that. Nothing major, but just making it mine instead of being somebody else's that I just bought.
That's right. Well, it's a beautiful purple color. What kind of color is it exactly?
The guy told me I think it's just a single stage. It's just a plum, like what they call plum crazy.
So what makes this vehicle stand out? What's so unique about it over the other vehicles that you see?
A lot of Tri-5 trucks out here, but you don't see the big window. It's what they call a big window truck. It was an option. I don't know why Chevy done it. They only built so many of them, but the big window. A lot more visual, a lot more plain to see, and it seems to be the truck that everybody wants on the Tri-5 series, the big window pickup, they call it.
And you got it. That's awesome. How many years have you been coming to the Street Rod Nationals?
I've been coming with our family, my cousins, for years, but this is probably my fourth year with the actual vehicle in it.
Okay, and what keeps you coming back?
Meeting all the out-of-towners. You become friend with them. We leave here, we cruise, we go across the street to local motels. You see the same people once a year. It's just good. It's just good fellowship. It's fun. It's just a good time.
Okay, you know where we're at. We're in the exhibit hall lobbies where some of the best builders in the business showcase their street rods in the Builder Showcase. I'm here with Jeff, and we're taking a look at this beautiful car. It stopped us, caught our eye. What's the year, make, model?
It's a 1969 Chevelle. It's just a Malibu, but as you can see, I've changed a lot of things on it, customized. I've left some of it stock and customized others. It's not completely custom. It's got a big block in it, 482 cubic inch. It's got a nitro system on it. It runs pretty good.
Pretty good. And is this the only car you have here?
No, I have another 69 Chevelle outside, and I have another one, the poor thing sitting in the garage with a car cover on it.
So she couldn't make it, huh?
No, I can't get 3 out here.
Well, it's a beautiful car. So what made you like, obviously, the Chevelles? What draws you to that kind of a car?
That was my first car. This actual car wasn't my first car, but my first car looked about like this. It was white, black top, black stripes, black at the bottom, just like this, except it was probably worth I sold it for $2,800, and this one's worth a little more money than that.
Just a little bit more money.
It costs a lot more too.
So tell us a little bit about the paint work and what you had to do to get this look.
Well, my dad owns Rogers Body Shop in Louisville, Kentucky, and I painted it myself and we built the whole car pretty much by myself and my friends at the shop. A couple people that worked for me. My friend Lauren helped me a whole lot on it and did a lot of body work. I'm not a big body work guy. I'm a painter, so I did all the striping and run the stripe through the whole car, across the console, the dash, down the firewall. I figured if it was just white and black, I needed to do something a little different to make it kind of stand out. I'm not using the flash of the color, so I did the stripe deal.
Well, clearly you're here in the Builder Showcase, right? So you're one of the best of the best. What stands out? What's your favorite thing about this particular vehicle?
I think they kind of look like a shark, actually. The front fenders and stuff, the way they just look fast sitting still. I've been in love with them ever since I got one when my dad bought me one when I was 14.
Well, it's a beautiful car. There's a lot of Chevelles here. So what is it about your Chevelle that makes it unique, that stands out above all the others?
Well, I think it goes back to what I said before. It's kind of custom and it's kind of stock. I didn't do any outside body modifications and I left it the way it was made from the factory, but I made it my style, molded the firewall, did the different, I did put the stock console in it, and I just changed things to make it's all the interiors original except for the dash, the package tray, and the console, and just kind of mixed both, original and custom. I think that's, most of the time they're either one or the other.
Right.
It's kind of in between.
Well, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful in-between car. Okay, so we're in the Builder Showcase. I'm here with Carrie and Tim Strange. And of course, a car this beautiful would catch my eye. So I had to come over here and talk to Carrie and find out, why this car? What's the make, the model of this car?
It's a 64 Corvair. And I picked it because it's a little car. Tim is used to building large cars that when you have to push them, they weigh a lot. So I wanted a Sunbeam Tiger, but that was out of my price range. So I like the Corvair. So we went with the Corvair.
She picked all the colors. She did the interior in it. And I said, we've built our cars before, and we've always sold it after a year. And I said, you picked a car and a color that nobody's going to want to buy. And she's like, well, that's okay. And then one of my buddies says, well, if you don't sell this one, you don't ever have to build her another one. I was like, yeah, it's a good way to think about it. So.
That is a good way to think about it. So you picked this car. This was your idea. Tell me about the engine and displacement.
Well, see, that's where we kind of had a difference of opinion. I wanted a stock car. Okay, so, and as you see, this is nothing stock about it.
Maybe just a color change and some wheels.
Yeah, I just wanted a driver. So I do have to say, once I picked the car and decided what I wanted, then his mind started rolling, and you don't ever want to get inside of this. So I just kind of let him go because I knew that whatever he came up with would be great. So I do have to say the engine and all that was his idea, but it does have a engine in the front, which the Corvair normally is in the rear. It's got a 4.3 V6 motor because I said I want to drive this car. I want to be able to get in and drive it and go wherever I want. If something breaks down on my way to Las Vegas, I can stop at an O'Reilly's, get what I need, and keep going. So there's no electronics. Everything is manual. I want to be able, I'm going to roll up my own windows. So it's pretty much, I'm going to say basic, but it's a Corvair with a motor in the front. So there's nothing basic about it.
It's a little crazy. I mean, there's a lot of custom fab. We cut it inside the rockers, built everything because you had to build all the substructure. It's got a custom frame. It's got a 9-inch Ford, 4-link underneath of it, all Ride Tech coilovers, big brakes and everything. And then a narrowed Mustang 2 Fat Man front stub. So it's basically just like 90% of these street rods you see out here with a Corvair skin stuck on it. It's Mustang, 9-inch, 4-link, coilovers, all that, but it's just a ton of other metal work. It's got a cut down Impala dash and everything underneath. The hood's all hand built.
I know you picked this color too, right? It's your favorite color right now.
She picked the color. Yep, yes. She went out with our color chips, our Exalta book, and sat out in the sun, and 20 minutes later, she come in and says, interior's gonna be this color, and the outside's that color. You got a hot rod shop, and your wife wants a new hot rod, you build her what she wants, so.
You get her the hot rod.
You keep her happy.
All right.
Remember that.
She hates flowers, so
yeah.
It would be cheaper if she liked flowers, but yeah, she wanted a purple Corvair.
It's a beautiful car. I also noticed the Susan G. Komen plate on the back.
Yes.
Is there a story behind that?
My best friend, or one of my very good friends in Nashville, as we were finishing the car, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and as we were at SEMA, she was having her surgery. So that was kind of my
keeping her in our thoughts.
Yeah, keeping her with us type thing. So that's why I did that.
So this is a very popular car.
Yeah,
everybody's loving it.
It's funny. We got a good spot here in the Builder Showcase this year, right outside one of the main entries into the normal hall. And you kind of sit here and you clean or you hang around, and people kind of chuckle, because we're at the Street Rod Nationals. Yeah, they let in later models here now, which is cool. But they kind of walk by and they kind of purple Corvair. You can hear them talking underneath their breath. And as they're walking away, they might look at the wheels or the big brakes or the motor in the front. Mm-hmm. Then it makes them turn around and kind of come back and draws them back in. So then they kind of start asking questions. So it's definitely one, if you're not paying attention, you might walk by.
But the other part of that is, since we've had it, we haven't had it at a lot of shows. We just debuted at SEMA. We have found there are a lot of people that used to have a Corvair, and regardless of what they say, if they like it or they don't like Corvairs, they've had one, they've known somebody that's had one, or they mysteriously do like it, they're just not going to tell their buddies because it's a Corvair.
Yeah, I always say the Corvair is the car that people like, but they're embarrassed to admit it in front of their buddies, kind of like riding mopeds,
Yeah.
until they see something cool.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
over at Scott's Rods and Race Fab. It's a 1941 Willys, 383 stroker, cementing built motor, fuel injected. It's an Excel fuel injection. That's Air Ride Technologies, suspension. It was originally a coilover type frame that we modified to make it for the Air Ride. We got as low as we could. It's pretty much a Pro Tour car. The paint is a custom two-tone we put together for the customer. The interior in this car is a Sean from Sean Appleman. This is one of his last jobs he ever put together. Vintage air. It's got cruise. It's got a little bit of everything in it. It was built to drive, so it's a heck of a nice car. Okay, this car is a revamp for a previous customer that I built it for. They got cancer that died. These people bought this car and we built it and changed it for them. So, but actually, to me, it's still Lee's car. It's kind of been a sentimental car. You don't usually have very many like this, but this is a sentimental one. I believe this is my 4th year. I had to work a little bit to get in here, but I greatly appreciate them putting me in here every year. I always try to represent something that they would like and try to build a quality that they like so that it looks good for them and looks good for me. I support them 100%. They're pretty much my go-to street rod venue, and NSRA is probably the best company out there for these cars that we build. Hopefully I'm going to start bringing some newer stuff in here for them. So next year's going to be a big year for us. I'm going to try to blow it out.
Out on the grounds with Rick with the Guard Guys Car Club. Rick has got a great looking 66 Mustang.
Thank you.
Rick, tell me about your car.
It's a 1966 convertible, inherited from my aunt. She passed away 4 years ago. It was an anniversary gift from my uncle to her, and she wanted me to have it when she was gone. Pretty much as I got it, it sits, other than a little bit under the hood. I've done a little work. It's all original, got 122,000 original miles. Motor has never been broke open. Runs like a top, you know.
And that's got the 289
289 in it, automatic. Top's in great shape. The only thing I've replaced is the boot cover, and found an original online, and it's just been a dream to have.
You brought this out to a couple of street rods nationals now?
Yeah. This is the 3rd year with it. Been with the Guard Guys the last 2 years. Been to several shows. We hit all the local runs, and we just get out and travel with it as much as I can. Just did the Heartland Cruise in E-Town last weekend. 16 cars went down.
Just having a good time with it.
Yeah, just enjoy. Me and my wife get out and ride in it and top down and
beautiful.
Just love it.
Well, and thank you and your club for your service.
Thank you very much. Everyone in here is either current or ex-military or someone in their family. We are a nonprofit. We raise money for the troops through USA Cares, which is an organization that helps active duty military if they need money for medicine or rent or whatever, and it pays directly to that renter or whoever they need it for within 48 hours of a request for help.
Yeah,
so
great.
We're out there raising money as much as we can for them.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'm here with Doug and Craig. We're gonna get a little information about this car. It sure is a beautiful car, Doug. This is yours, right?
Yes, it is. Thanks.
Okay, so what year, make, model, all the good stuff?
It's a 68 Camaro. It's a lot of modifications. We got 69 running lights up front that were molded in. We brought the exhaust through the splash pan, took the drip rails out, shaved the door handles.
You've done a lot of work on this car, right, Craig? So what have you done?
Full air ride. It's got a Ramjet 350. Interior is one off. There's not another one like it. 20-inch in the front, 18s, 20-inch in the rear, 18s in the front.
The engine's Ramjet 350. The build took 8 years, so when we started, that's what everybody was using now. We'd probably have an LS, but it's brand new, so we kept it in. He dressed it up with like a cover, so it kind of makes it look more modern and nicer, but
it is nice. Yeah. How many years have you guys been coming to the Street Rod Nationals?
This is actually our first one.
Oh, your very first one, newbies.
Yeah, brand new. So it's huge.
Have you enjoyed your time here so far?
Very much. Nice venue. It's really nice.
You see you guys coming back?
Oh,
again?
definitely.
We'll be back every year.
Yep.
Each year here just keeps getting better. I mean, there's something for everyone here at the Street Rod Nationals. We've got lots of food, games, fun, entertainment, and of course, the street rods.
Then there's the ladies' tea, there's the Sunday church service, there's late models, and there's always much more.
Lots of entertainment. It's a good time.
Did we mention the food?
Yeah.
Food's always good.
Yeah.
We're at the front gate up here at the Street Rod Nationals with Jim and Connor and Janet out of the Charlotte area. Now you drove up. What did you drive up?
1935 Ford two-door sedan. You know, had it for about 10 years now, right before we had him, and you know, it's been a real good time.
So, tell me about the show. How's the show been for you so far?
It's been real good. You know, got to go and visit some vendors and stuff and get some stuff from inside that I needed. I'm working on a 1952 Chevy pickup, so I needed some parts and stuff. And
Connor, what do you think of the show?
I think it's good. Well, what we're just doing here, we're trying to view some cars, probably get some pictures, and meeting up with some friends.
Good, good. Now,
and get some ice cream too.
One.
We love the Street Rod Nationals.
Beautiful.
Lady, and we're here at the NSRA to uplift the ladies and get their breasts closer to their face than their waist.
Linda Thomas with Patty Cake's Natural Skincare here at the Women's World for the NSRA. Really glad to be here. We handcraft all natural skincare, and we're very proud of our products. I want you to come out and try them.
Okay, so now it's time to meet our regulars. These are the folks that have been to all 45 Street Rod Nationals. Describe this car. What is it?
It's a 1968 AMX. It's called a Go Pack car. It's got 390 in it. As you can see, changed a few things on it. And it's been bored 30 over. It's got a little valve work done to it. Just a little bit warmer than it should be.
It's a beautiful car, and I love that you matched the car. We found a lady who matched her car earlier, and I love that. It stands out to me, but I like bright colors as well. So why that color for this car?
Well, believe it or not, I had a friend of mine that helped me do the finish work, and he had the paint when I bought the car. So he kind of talked me into it at first. But as we done it, I'm glad we done this. And the matching the shirt thing was not my ideal. It's the wife's ideal. When I picked the car up in May of 2010, this is what I brought home. And she was kind of like, what'd you do? And then 2 years in, we ended up with this.
All right.
And I've not been to any shows without her in the car. So she goes with me wherever we go.
Awesome. Describe the interior for us.
The interior on the car is pretty much stock. Had the seats redone. Everything else on the inside of the car is original except for the carpet and the headliner.
Okay.
Your carpet, of course, was wore out. I bought the car, original owner, 47,000 miles. Been under a tarp for about 25 years.
Wow.
So brought it home, disassembled, sandblasted it, had about 2/3 of a car left. So 2 years, it took me about 2 years to do it.
Wow, well, you did a great job. How many years have you been here at the Street Rod Nationals?
This is the third year because I hadn't had a car for years and years, so I finally got this one back. You get older, get everything else done in your life, so you finally get a toy again.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Well, welcome back. Yeah, that's awesome.
There is AMC guys in town, not a whole lot. They've been a few around, as you can see across there. There is a red one. I think there's about 4 or 5 on the property this week, and that's about all. That's about all you'll see.
Okay, so what makes your car stand out among all the other cars that are out here in Mopar Country?
The color. Done it a little different. These things originally set up kind of high. Didn't like it, so I put it down a little bit lower, give it a different stance, taller wheels, and of course the color scheme is a lot different than they ever came. Okay, I'm in Mopar world for the simple reason 1976, Chrysler Corporation bought American Motors out. So they lump us in with the Mopar guys, but it's still fun.
What's your name?
Matthew Boutwell.
Matthew, what kind of car you got here?
46 Plymouth.
A 46 Plymouth. Explain give me the specs on the engine, if you don't mind.
It's a 350 Chevy, 700 R4 transmission, so it gets decent gas mileage.
Good. So why this particular car? What draws you to this in the Mopar world?
Well, I bought my 48 Plymouth that's sitting at home. I bought it when I was 12, and I've always had a thing for the 46 through 8 Plymouths. Never want to deviate.
Yeah, well, if you like a car, then you like it, right?
Exactly.
Explain some of the body work for us.
Well, I've lowered it about 2 inches in the front and 2 inches in the back. 5-inch chop on the roof. Shaved all the chrome off and all the door handles. Got rid of everything inside and outside. Power windows, power brakes. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the power steering.
Oh, yeah, no, I bet it's a beast to drive, right?
It's not bad to drive, it's just parking it.
Okay, yeah, I can understand that. So I see some unique artwork on the car. Explain that for me.
I've always been into dragons, so wanted to go with the dragon theme on the inside and the outside, so put the dragons on the side of the car, put the dragon skin on the inside and outside of the car. So, favorite colors are blue and white, so that kind of went just fine.
Just hand in hand.
Exactly.
Call you the Dragon Man.
My name's Steve Worley.
Steve Worley. Okay, so Steve, what kind of car do you have here?
This is a 1933 Dodge Delivery. They made 400 of these when they manufactured them.
Really? So this is one of 400?
One of 400.
This is pretty unique then, huh?
Very. I've seen one other one.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So give me the specs on the engine.
It's got a Dodge 318 motor in it. It's got a 700R4 overdrive transmission in it, and it's been chopped and pinched in the front here a little bit. It's got a house of color red, I think it's called Wineberry paint job.
I love it. It's beautiful. It stands out.
Thank you. Got leather interior, and of course the whole back of the car is open.
Oh yeah.
You can haul all your groceries and
all kinds of stuff. Good
friends,
stuff.
Right.
That's awesome. So we know it's unique because there's only one of 400 of these that were made, but what stands out to you the most that makes it the most unique?
Actually, I've owned several street rods. The wheelbase is long and gives you a great ride. It's easy driving, power steering, AM, FM stereo. It's got a little computer in, makes funny noises, whistles at the girls.
Oh, isn't that fun?
Yeah, it does it all.
To see the whistles.
You know, this is, of course, a newer Dodge motor. That's obviously not the motor that came in the car.
Right.
It's a 318. Of course, they make the Hemi motor, which is probably one of the most outstanding performance motors. This is probably one of the smallest engines. It's got one of the greatest sounds, though.
I'm here with Richard, and he is one of our top 5 picks over here in the Mopar country. One of the best of the best. It's a beautiful vehicle.
Thank you.
It is a beautiful vehicle. Tell us a little bit about this car.
It's a 1970 Plymouth AAR Cuda. They made them so they could Trans Am road race back in 1970. The AAR stands for Dan Gurney's team back then, All American Racers, and they had to make so many of them. It's a rotisserie restoration. I bought the car in 1996. It was very rough, pulled out of a field. We put it on the rotisserie in 1999, got it off the rotisserie in 2009, so it was on the rotisserie for 10 years, and we got it out in late 2009, and it's done real well locally. I'm real proud of it. Me and 2 friends built it.
Oh, wow.
It's not professionally done, so and it's done real well, so we're happy with it.
This is part of your hard work, so I know you got to be proud of that.
Yeah, it's very much so.
And now you've won. That's awesome.
I've got cold chills.
It's hot out here, so to have cold chills, that's pretty special.
It wasn't expected. There were some very nice cars here today.
There are some beautiful cars, but you know what? Yours stands out as unique. What stands out as unique about this car to you?
The decals on it and the paint job. It just, the stripes and stuff. It's just not a regular Cuda, and it does get a lot of attention at the shows, and that's the only reason I can figure why. Because there's nicer cars out there. It's the paint job, I guess.
Good paint job. Congratulations to you. What an honor.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. So what is your name?
My name's Chris Gifford.
Chris Gifford. So we're over here in the 29 and under. How old are you, Chris?
28.
28. Oh, so you're almost at the cutoff, huh?
Almost. 2 more years.
Oh, yeah?
This year and next year.
Okay. Well, what kind of car do you have in the 29 and under this year?
It's a 65 Chevy Impala.
Chevy Impala. Give us a little information about the engine.
Well, it's a 283. It's a 700R overdrive. Numbers matching motor. It's still 2-barrel. It's still points. It's got 87,000 original miles, so I've owned it since 2005, or 2000 actually, and it's been like this since 2005. So.
Oh wow, that's awesome. So did you do all the work on this, or did you have
me and my dad and my dad's friend Skip Miller? The 3 of us, we did almost all of it, I guess. A friend my dad works with, he did the interior on the side, so. Yep.
It's a beautiful vehicle. So why this color?
Well, I seen it on a Ford F100, actually at a car show in Ohio, out in a huge field. It just kind of stood out. I walked straight out and talked to the guy about it and told him what I was thinking about doing, and he was more than happy to tell me what color it was, and so that's why it's green.
And then you went and got that color, huh?
That's right, yeah.
I like the look. The look, it goes with the car, right?
Well, it's, you know how it is. You got to live it.
You got to live that lifestyle, and you're living it, right?
You got to.
Well, what's so unique about, give us a little, just your personal opinion about having the 29 and under competition. What makes it special?
Oh, well, you get to meet a bunch of people the same age as you. I mean, you walk around here, there's 11,000 cars. There's a ton of people. Most cars are carrying 2 people, so there's thousands of people here, but you hardly ever see anybody your age.
Right.
Everybody's got gray hair, which I'm getting a little bit of that now, but it's kind of nice to be able to talk to guys, girls and guys that are my age and see what got them into it. Usually it's their parents, but see what kind of stuff they've been able to do and what ideas they've used and take those home with you sometimes.
Yeah, that's awesome. How many years have you been coming to the Street Rod National?
Oh, I've been coming here since way before I could drive, probably since I was like 5. So, I mean, it used to not always be here. They used to go around the country and be different places, but we've been coming here a long time, so.
What keeps bringing you back?
Dad. Nah, I like it, the vendors, anything you want to buy for your car, you can get here pretty much.
All right, so we're back at the 45th Annual Street Rod Nationals. We're over here in the 29 and under, and I have found my birthday buddy once again. A couple of years ago, we were talking about his car that was here. Now he has another car that's here, and he's got another year left before he's cut off from the 29 and under.
Yeah, I do. Unfortunately, I only have 1 year left, so.
Oh my goodness. Well, tell us about the car you have here this year.
All right, this is my mom's car. It's a 1956 DeSoto Fireflight or Firepower or something like that. But it's got an old 330 DeSoto Hemi in it. We actually got it for her for Mother's Day, and she drives it pretty much daily, and she loves it. So
you're hooking Mom up.
I know. I think we won Best Sons of the Year award. So
you probably if you don't win this award, you at least won the Best Son.
Exactly. So
okay, well tell us about the engine.
The engine's a 330 Hemi. It's all original, just regular old DeSoto Hemi. So it's pretty quick. It's got 4-barrel. It's about the only thing that's done to it. So we put disc brakes on it and everything too. So
okay, so you bought this for your mom, but have you guys made any modifications to it since you gotten it, or
absolutely nothing? Just her driving it a lot. That's about it. Just mileage. So
this was the original. This is how you guys bought it.
Yep. Oh, we did put chrome wheels and wide whites on it. So
okay, so where's Mom? Is Mom here for this?
No, she can't take the Louisville heat. So she's back at home in Ohio in the air conditioning. So
okay, so what stands out about this car? What makes it unique? Why did you bring this one versus your own this year?
It's huge. I can fit everything in it. I like the colors. I like the purple and black, so that makes it stand out. The fins are nice, and you don't really see them too often. So it was a nice change of pace than bring an old car.
What is the 29 and under? What has it meant to you being able to be a part of that?
This has been a really nice experience, and it's great that these companies do this for us and help us get our stuff moving along and help support the younger guys in the hot rod industry. So.
Hot rod world. Well, thank you very much, Gary. We love your mother's car. Mom, we love your car.
Nice.
Good fun. So we're still over here in the 29 and under. How old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
20. How old are you?
20.
You both 20. So you guys got a few more years here.
Got 9 more years to get attached.
All right, you got this. Okay, so what kind of a car do you have here?
We've got a 69 Camaro convertible. And it is it come factory with a GM Rust package. So most of it fell out on the way up here on the trailer. But it's holding together better than we expected. So
that's pretty high. How long have you had it?
My parents bought it first year they got married, and that was 22 years ago. So they've had it longer than they've had me, and I swear my mom likes it better than she likes me.
Oh, that's not true. It just couldn't be.
Let's tell you about the motor. All right, what we have here, pretty well modified. We've got a highly modified set of heads there. Got a real nice intake. That is ported, polished. It's got a Holley 650 carburetor on it. A titanium valve, sodium filled valves. It's real nice. Actually 7mm stuff, SB2 stuff. It's real cool. It's got a Jessel belt drive on it. Edelbrock water pump. The valve covers are stock. That's where we come in. I figured out a way to lower the center of the head down so I can run shaft mounts and the stock valve covers. And so it goes a lot better than it looks. Bottom end is Carrara Ultralight with arrow rods, 1750 stuff, custom made crankshaft. So it's pretty stout.
Awesome.
Interior, as far as we know, is original. It's had a different carpet put in it. Let's see, radio's been put in, and as far as we know, the rest of it is 1969 era. It's had a paint job. Chrome is original, and it's had a new top. So it's pretty well how it came from the factory. She still got most of her parts with her.
Okay, so we're over here in the 29 and under. I'm here with Griffin. He's going to tell us a little bit about his beautiful truck behind us. What kind of truck is this?
It's a 53 Ford pickup. I started when I was about 15 with my dad. Had about 10 years now. It's looks a lot pretty stock, but if you look at it, it's a lot of alterations on it. It's got a Dodge Diplomat front end, a Thunderbird rear end, and a 56 grill on it. There's a lot of machine there's a lot of machine parts and homemade parts on it that you just don't see a lot of, so it's pretty, I guess, somewhat unique. Not to compare to this, I don't think so, but
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I've had a lot of fun with it. got almost 14,000 miles on it.
Oh, wow. That's great. How long have you had this?
I've had it since 2004. It's been on the road since 2010, and I've been the Nats 3 times and back to the 50s. So it's been around. I've lived in Milwaukee, so it's been pretty long distance trips.
Oh, yeah. So how long does it take you to get here from there?
About 8 hours, 9 hours.
That's not too bad. How many years have you come to the Street Rod Nationals?
This will be my 3rd time.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm fortunate with that new 30-year rule. I can get in with that because before that, I wasn't allowed in.
Oh wow! So it's been a good thing for you.
Yeah, and if you look around here, there's a lot of pre-48 cars, and so it's a future of the hobby. So I'm kind of fortunate and lucky enough to see that. So
that's right. So if you had one thing to pick out that's the most unique about your truck among everybody else's, what would you say it is?
I guess there's a lot of difference, but I guess a Chevy tailgate you can see from here. If it's a Chevy tailgate, but it's got a skin louvered on it with a Ford. I have independent front and rear suspension on it and disc brakes, so there's a lot of stuff, I guess.
Well, it's a beautiful truck. So did you paint this?
Yeah, actually it was shot in the garage. It's a Martin Senior paint, base coat, clear coat. So nothing really special, no pearl, but when I picked it out, it's the brightest orange they made.
And why orange?
I don't know. I guess I just liked it.
I love street rods. I love car shows, and I've been going to car shows all my life.
Really?
And I came up here every year. Go street rods! I love all of them. I like rat rods and stuff, and I like just about every car.
All of them? We like all these cars too. They're really nice, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty one.
Yeah.
It matches your skirt.
Yep.
That needs to be your car.
Yep.
All right, so I'm here with Al, and his beautiful vehicle stood out to us, so we had to stop and talk to him. Al, tell us a little bit about this car, the year, the make, all that good stuff.
It's actually a 65 Cobra replica car, purchased in 05, put it on the road in 06. It's a street car. We use it all the time. So, and it's built by Super Performance.
That's awesome. So, why this kind of car? Why this particular, make and model?
This has been my dream car. Since I was a kid. This is when I saw them on the showroom floor when I was a kid. That's what I always wanted.
Oh, so dreams do come true, right?
They do come true. The engine is a crate motor from Ford. It's a 460 cubic inch, 500 horsepower.
Well, it's beautiful. We love it. So, being here at the Street Rods, how many years have you done this?
I've been out here probably about 5 years.
5 years?
Yes.
With this vehicle?
Not with this vehicle,
Okay.
no, because it didn't qualify a few years ago. But I'm with my family, and actually my brother's probably been out here for over 15 to 20 years.
Oh, wow. So what keeps you guys coming back to the Street Rod Nationals?
Just look around. It's awesome. It's awesome. If you have any appreciation for automobiles, this is the place to be. I guess the part with Shelby was he built these cars basically to race Corvettes. He was pretty much a Ford man, and that was his ambition, was to race and win races with Corvettes and Ferraris. And they did it with this car and the Daytona Coupe. And this car actually is licensed by Carroll Shelby.
Oh, really?
Yep, the manufacturer that builds this car is licensed by Carroll Shelby.
Well, what sets your car apart? What makes it so unique?
I don't know. I think the big thing on my car with Cobras is the color, the black and the red. The red sets it apart. But it's very close to the original car, very, very close to the original car, and that's part of what sets it apart.
So, we always find our way over to the Okolona Boys. I'm here with Dwight. He's got a couple of cars here this year. Dwight, tell us about this car. What's the year, the make, all that good stuff?
This is a 1933 Chevrolet sedan.
I've owned it since 1974. I've totaled it once and rebuilt it. Been an NSRA member since 1972.
Oh wow, it's 1972.
Long time. I got an old membership number.
All right.
So been doing this a long time, and I also supported the late model changeover, and I have the Camaro across the aisle.
So you brought you an old one and a new model.
I do both sides of the street. Yes.
That's awesome.
Love the late models and love the old models. I will always this car. Both these cars are family, and I will hopefully die with them.
Well, we hope so too. We just hope that's not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon.
All right.
Love the NSRA event. They give me an opportunity to come out and play with my toys, and just love the atmosphere. This car is fuel injected with an overdrive transmission to modernize the drivability. The Camaro's the same way. Both of them had the same fuel-injected motors and overdrive transmissions. It makes them very street-friendly, very gas mileage friendly. Just fun cars to travel with and drive. This was the first Camaro allowed in the building. This was in the radiator booth inside the building a year before we were allowed on the grounds. So this is one of the first late model cars that were allowed around here, and it's been here every year since. It's made the trip to Knoxville for the NSRA event in Knoxville. It's a very nice road car. It's fuel injected just like the Street Rod, overdrive, five-speed transmission, and it's just a very, very fun toy to drive.
We're here with another new product winner, Craig Morrison of Art Morrison Enterprises. Craig, congratulations! Great job on your new product winner. Tell me a little bit about what Art Morrison Enterprises does.
Okay, Art Morrison Enterprises. We've been in business for over 40 years now. Started out doing drag cars, and now for the last 15, 20 years, we've been doing street machines, muscle cars, street rods, hot rods, and this is an absolute brand new product that we've been in research and development in for the last 3.5 years. What it's called is a multi-link independent rear suspension, and it's designed for guys for anything from a 40s all the way up to a 60s era classic car to be able to have a fantastic performance-oriented independent rear suspension in the back of their car.
So on the road, what does that translate to you?
Well, on the road, you've got each wheel sort of being able to react independently from each other, so it's a lot more comfortable than what a solid axle is. And on this particular suspension, we've designed what's called semi-active steering, so the rear actually helps steer the car around a corner when you're going into either a left-hand or right-hand corner, and just lets the car corner harder, corner better, and actually a lot more safer.
A lot of engineering and design that has to go into this. You said 3.5 years.
Exactly. We've got 2 full-time mechanical engineers. We got the idea originally from a brand new Porsche race car that we looked at 4 years ago, actually, down in Southern California. Started down that route with the Porsche components, and it just wasn't going to work out the way that we wanted to. And so on this particular car, we use, rear suspension, we're using 5th gen Camaro components as well as C6 Corvette components.
And add to it, Just looks pretty.
Oh yeah, it's actually a visually stunning piece. It's on its own cradle assembly, so you undo 4 bolts, undo the shocks, and the whole IRS can come out of the car for maintenance. And it also, with that cradle system, you can retrofit it into a lot of different applications.
Right. Well, that's the first thing we walked up, and you said the same. It's like visually interesting.
Exactly. And that's something that we always really focus on, is that not only does it have to work very well, it has to look very well.
Yeah. All right, Craig, thank you.
Hey,
Appreciate
thank you
your
very
time,
much.
and congratulations.
Oh, thank you. It's a great honor.
For the 4th year in a row with another new product winner. We're with John, and John, congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys have a dynasty going on here, 4 years in a row of knocking it out of the park, so to speak.
Yeah.
Another home run.
Grand slam.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Once again, tell me about your new product winner.
Well, again, what the group tries to focus to do is customer response. At every show we go to and all our tech calls, anything that we see as a need, we actually run data on. And then every year we take all that data and we see what do the customers need the most.
Stand out.
And then one of the issues that customers were having was we have all different size tanks. So everybody's building custom cars, and then now we're building custom tanks, so the manufacturers are making different sizes. So adjustability was the first piece, and you can buy this in 1-inch increments. And then there was always a baffle or a float or something that was in the way of the float arm, and it was an adjustable. So with all of these options, they weren't getting an accurate gauge or an accurate reading. What's worse than running out of fuel when you're cruising in your hot rod? So that was a complaint. So we went to it, we looked at the problem, and sloshing was another piece where the fuel moves where we're going around with no baffles. This eliminated that, so no sloshing. You don't get that pointer bounce. And now we have an accurate part that's easy to install, and it just, all those facets come together, just makes it easier so that we can have fun in our hot rods.
Can't beat that. Well, John, again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Great job by you and your team.
Thank you to NSRA, and thank you to the judges.
We're here with Harvey, another one of the new product winners. Harvey's with Watson Street Works. Now, you guys had, it's unusual, you had a product that won in 2 categories. Tell me about that.
All right. It was the LED headlight. We won Best New Product in the mid-price range category. And then it also won Best Safety Award of the year, Best Safety Product of the year.
Now, what kind of feedback have you gotten? I guess you've had some buzz.
Oh, absolutely.
Over this product.
Oh, absolutely. We sold a pair to a guy about 2 weeks ago at a different show. He stopped by today and just gave us all kinds of thumbs up, said his wife loves them. So, that's great to hear. And we're just thrilled that the community liked the product as much as they did. It's a direct replacement for a 7-inch round headlight. We don't remember how bad it was driving around with the old sealed beams now that we all drive modern headlights. So it's pretty scary driving around at night. We came across this product, researched it a lot. It's direct bolt-in, fits right in the old brackets, and just gives a tremendous amount of light. Uses less amperage, so your alternator gets a break, and you don't have to rewire the car. It's just a terrific product. We're thrilled to bring it to market.
busy in here on Saturday afternoons because someone is going to go home in this beautiful brand new 1932 Ford Roadster. Jonathan built this beautiful vehicle. Tell us a little bit about the process you went through in building this and bringing it here to the Street Rod National.
The biggest process on this was actually getting all the parts donated. You know, if they're not donated, you got to fund them. So that keeps a bunch of people in the industry involved with it also. So when we first started out, we got the chassis, the body, motor, built up the whole car, got it painted, put together, and then try to show it a little bit, but you always wait till the deadline. You're always down to the last minute. Got everything done, picked up from the interior shop, drove it back to the shop, cleaned everything up, and we did a 6-hour trip all the way back here to give it away.
Oh wow, it's a beautiful car. So was this a decision you guys made to build this particular car, or this was somebody else's decision?
No. The good thing about they give us free hands on whatever we want to do, whatever colors. So it actually shows what the shop does and what they put out, and it's their ideas and everything. So I think that's a good idea for them. The Street Rod Nationals, they actually contacted us, and it was like, hey, we have chosen you to do the giveaway truck for this year, which is a true big honor. But you still got to make sure you can juggle everything around and make it happen, because you don't want to fail as a shop and not produce out here. So it was a big honor. Then we got all the guys at the shop on board. We worked nights and weekends, so it wouldn't interfere with everything else at the shop. And it was a big, like a family gathering of us having fun building a car. And everything worked out great.
That's what it's all about, right? And
Exactly.
it turned out beautiful. So thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Fantastic job. And for a bunch of us old ducks, it is fantastic to see the youth like this build a car like that, because it is fantastic in every way. Are you ready? I'm going to ask our chaplain, Mr. Jim Rowlett, draw the winning number. Okay. We know who it is, so good luck. For one gorgeous 1932 Roadster pickup, entry number 887. Where is number 887? This number, if the person does have their car on the ground, it is registered in their name.
John, Andrew, very good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so just go ahead and describe it to me. How excited are you?
Just absolutely ecstatic. I cannot get over it.
Oh, look at your face. You were beaming. How do you feel?
Oh, wonderful. You never think it'll happen to you. This is a shocker.
How many years you guys been coming here?
Oh,
Ever since it's been at Louisville, we've been here
Yeah.
for almost every one of them.
Yeah.
You've been here every year, and now you're finally winning the vehicle.
And I entered twice.
Look at you. And you got. Well, that's great, and now you want it. So who's driving it back?
It doesn't matter who. It doesn't
You're
matter.
gonna drive it.
It doesn't matter.
No, wait a minute. Yeah, I may want to drive that. And
You'll get the other one, right?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Well, congratulations. We are so excited that you guys won this beautiful vehicle.
Oh,
so
gorgeous.
enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything. I'm just so happy that this event is on and everything that goes with it and all the changes and just a beautiful car. Absolutely gorgeous.
It is sweet.
I got a place in the garage for it.
Whatever.
Waiting for her home.
Yep.
Right?
Yes, that's right.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you so
Unbelievable.
much.
Thank you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
We're here at the Reisinger booth with Pat and Ty. You guys are building the 2015 giveaway car. I understand there was quite a buzz yesterday afternoon over here.
Oh yeah, we had a crowd show up. There was actually a buzz before that, people coming over trying to figure out if this was the giveaway car or not. They try to keep that pretty secret, but there are those that have taken it upon themselves every year to seek out where the giveaway car is hidden.
Like bloodhounds.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Peeking under tarps, peeking around corners, looking for the car.
Right. Look now. Tell me about the car.
It's a great car. It's a 1932 Ford 5-window, full fendered car. Bebops has provided the body for us, so it's fiberglass. We're starting a new trend. We're putting steel fenders on a fiberglass car. Brookville Roadster has provided all the tin, the fenders, the hood, the sides, the grill shell. As standard procedure, Walker radiator. We've got Borgeson doing the steering stuff. Wheel Vintiques spoke wheels. We've got Coker tires on it. And then Locar is going to give us a bunch of the dually dads. Wise Guys has given us a seat. I did a column. Pete and Jake's steering wheel. Tanks Inc. has provided us with a super great steel tank. I've got now the sexiest rear end in street rodding. Winters has given us a quick change.
You want to turn around? Let's see that.
I promise you, I have the sexiest rear end in street rodding history. Yeah, Beaver coming off a rear end was a big deal. We're excited about that. Boulder gave us a 5-speed transmission. Vintage Air is going to keep it cool, and we got video gauges, and I think that's all the Nope, Magnum axle has given us a 5-inch dropped axle. Willwood's given us all the brakes, the pedals, the masters. Alan Johnson has given us gorgeous bones to put front and back, and he's also provided the 40 Ford style cross member that he's got for it.
Well, congratulations, guys. It looks beautiful. We noticed as we walked up there, a couple of guys poking their head in and go, "I'm gonna get the drool off my chin."
Yeah, it's only been exposed for 3 hours, and we've had at least 50 people tell us they're winning it next year. So
yes, they predicted that future.
Shine down on me. Let your love shine through me in the
We're here with Andy and Sandy Barczyk from Bremerton, Washington, the long-distance winners. Now, tell me, how far did you come?
2,700 driving miles to get here. We took the scenic route.
So tell me about your vehicle.
Well, it's a 36 Ford sedan. It took me 14 years to build it. It's chopped and channeled and sectioned and shortened and lengthened and widened, and has a SHO V6 from a Taurus that I converted to rear-wheel drive and 5-speed.
Tell me about your experience here at the Nationals.
Well, it's been on my list for years, and last winter I said, why not now?
We're here in the Circle of Winners with Patrick Knight and his 1930 Woody, which I understand was a recent barn find. Now, Patrick, tell me about that.
Yes, sir. A friend of mine called me one day last December and said that the family had passed away, and the vehicle had been sitting for 63 years in the family garage, and they needed to move it. And I went over and took one look at it, and my wife was with me, and she said, I knew it was going home with us as soon as you took a look. To get it out of the garage, we had to jack it up, and because everything was locked up. The brakes were locked up, the engine was locked up, the transmission was locked up. We got it out of the garage and winched it up on the car trailer and took it home, pulled the engine out, did a complete overhaul on it, just to complete a mechanical, everything on it. But I wouldn't even let them wash the windows. I didn't want anybody to change anything on it. I wanted to keep it just like it was.
And how long ago was it that you found it?
December of 2013.
You were working pretty fast.
It was a pretty quick move, yeah. I didn't have much time there.
Well, I'll tell you what, it definitely stands out. It's got a cool factor. It was really nice.
But my goal from the day that I got it was to drive it at this Nationals.
we're here with Darren Nicholson. Darren, you were in the Circle of Winners. You built this GTO for your brother.
Yes.
Now tell me about it.
Well, it's a 69 Judge. My brother financed it for me in the shop to be able to build it at this level. The reason we chose this car is because this is the same car that him and his wife began dating in way back in the day. He had a true 69 Judge carousel red car back in the day, so that's why we chose this car. And we just kind of went over the top with it. It's a little bit mental. That's why we've called it judgmental. There's approximately 5,000 hours in the car, 2-year build. A lot of fabrication. Every panel and every sheet metal panel on the car has either been changed or modified or fabricated. Yeah, I got a good group of guys.
It's a labor of love.
No, sure, yeah. Brotherly love, you know. Every time you walk by the car, we have people come by all the time and say, I've walked by this car half a dozen times a day and I've seen something different every time. So that's a great compliment right there.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, thank
good
you.
job.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Where's Don?
He's had to gone back home to church function, so.
Don, you're missing out here, all right? Again for joining us for the 45th annual Street Rod Nationals Plus.
Yeah, we've had a great time this year, looked at some beautiful cars, really enjoyed it. Now we're going to enjoy our ice cream. So.
And we'll see you next year.
See you next year.
Make one complaint. You always make me look heavy.
Well, they say the camera adds 10 pounds.
You have a thin line there to do a little welcome to Louisville for? Haven't you done a job yet?
This is my job. I love it here.
Oh, God. Smile, you're on candid camera. There you go.
They just jealous. That's good. That's good like that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. They just jealous.
There's nothing wrong with shaving. There's nothing wrong with shaving.
I don't shave. I got hair on.
likes that slick look. No,
Y'all
he-
see they got
he
hair.
glued that
There ain't
on
no
there,
shaving
man.
it either.
Of some of that interview of that wooden
Fight!
group.
Fight!
I love you, right?
I love her.
Okay.
I love her. Come here. I love her. I love her.
How do you feel about the NSRA?
I love it.
Awesome.
The audio.
Cool.
A2 commercial way. Okay.
We're not going to answer this now.
Okay.
Most women would never allow it, but I do allow that this is his mistress.
She's my sweetheart.
You know, you got to have a girlfriend every once in a while.
Exactly.
And this is the perfect type to have.
Right. I might get me a motorcycle and have me a whatever they call a manlin. I don't know what they call them. A gigolo?
I bet you could look good in leather.
I bet I would, but chains all over me.
I just can't picture that.
We've got a '69 Camaro convertible, and it is it come factory with a GM Rust package, so most of it fell out on the way up here on the trailer. And I swear my mom likes it better than she likes me.
Oh, that's not true. It just couldn't be.
Yeah, you hadn't met her yet, though.
Oh, okay. Well, you love the car, so that's important. You brought it here.
I didn't say that.
Oh, you didn't say that.
I don't love the car. It breaks down. All GM owners out there, it's not as good as you think it is.
Take advice from the youngster.
That's it.
Okay. What do you like most about it?
Uh,
Or do you not like it? Do you want to just get a whole new car altogether since you don't like this car?
I tried to trade it 2 or 3 times.
This is a family heirloom. You don't want to really get rid of it, do you?
It's really not that nice.
Jonathan, you are bad. This is going to be the first interview in our...
Yeah, this will be hard.
So bad.
Tell me about the end.
All right, here. Let's tell you
about it.
Let's tell you about the motor.